So you and I both know that there have been some crazy things going on in the world lately, and to be honest, it's only going to get crazier from here on out. But I'm here to tell you that in this video, no matter what happens, the world economy completely collapses, the rogue AIs go ahead and take over, or we just end up in World War III and then we all get just like fucking nuked or something. No matter what happens, your business can not only survive these kinds of circumstances, but it can also thrive amidst the chaos, so long as you act fast upon the advice that I'm going to give you in the next few minutes. So listen carefully and let's get right into it. So after 3 years as a direct marketer and a consultant in this space, and you can see me there right after I graduated middle school and decided that I wanted to be a online entrepreneur. I look so clueless. And of course, there is me in the present day. Over the last 3 years, I have seen a lot of people come and go, basically. And to be honest, I've just perceived that in this game of business, people do not seem to be able to last very long on average. A lot of the people that were big when I was first getting started have just faded into complete obscurity now. From my observations, I can say that it is definitely, without a doubt, because of this crucial foundation that gets overlooked all of the time. So what am I talking about here? The CAC to LTV ratio. This is the primary metric for business sustainability, full stop. It surprises me how many people either don't know what this means, or if they do know what it means, they definitely forget about it later on. Essentially, if we just break it down, CAC means customer acquisition costs. So that's literally just the monetary or the temporal cost of acquiring a new customer. And there's the lifetime value, which is basically how much a customer pays over the entire period of time they spend trading with you, i.e., how long do they stay paying you money for whatever it is that you give them. The general rule of thumb with this is that the CAC must be smaller and the LTV must be bigger. We should be always striving to decrease the acquisition cost and always increase the lifetime value per customer. At the very minimum, these numbers need to be equal if you want to have a business that can survive, okay? You're not going to be growing, you're not going to be shrinking at just these numbers being completely equal, but that is the minimum requirement for business sustainability. If the CAC is bigger than the LTV, then that means that you are going to be acquiring new customers at a loss, which is not sustainable. And if the LTV is not bigger than it could be, then your operations are going to become very, very unaffordable very quickly, and your churn rate is going to be very high. The key problem here is that nobody seems to be balancing these numbers out at all. Now, maybe you're wondering, okay, well, how on earth do I go about doing this to prevent my business from crashing in the same way that so many other people's does? What do I do? How do I balance these numbers out? Well, relax, I'm going to tell you. First off, here's something that you need to understand. CAC is going to rise due to external factors no matter what you do. There is nothing you can do to stop this. So that can be due to things like ad costs increasing, that can be due to things like the algorithm changing, the way that it manages and promotes content, that can be because of market saturation when you have more competition to deal with, or it could just be with creative fatigue and when that starts to set in. However, the LTV is only going to rise, ever, if your operations are completely dialed in. So that's going to mean that you need to have high retention. It means that your upsells and ascensions have to be converting well. It's got to mean that the time to value, which is basically the metric that it refers to, how long is it before the customer gets a return on their investment with dealing with you. You've got to make sure that TTV is strong, and you've got to make sure that the user experience actually improves over time to offer that actual incentive for long-term retention. So LTV is therefore seemingly the only side of this ratio that you can actually 100% control. LTV is completely down to you. So with that, I would say if you dial in your LTV, you're already doing better than most businesses when it comes to this. Here's the interesting thing. You can actually influence both, okay, in a way that allows you to basically near enough tank any externally influenced CAC problem. You can near enough kill acquisition costs almost entirely, and you can also massively increase the back-end conversions. So that means upsells, ascensions, that is going to serve your LTV as well. You can actually massively increase that conversion rate overall. It is possible to do this. And you can, of course, imagine what that's going to do for your business's longevity. If you're able to consistently decrease the CAC, which is something that you thought that you didn't really have that much control over, turns out you do, and if you can be constantly increasing your LTV, well, you're going to be able to look a little bit like this. But how? How do we do it? How do I actually control customer acquisition costs? And how do I actually dial in my operation to a point where I can be increasing LTV to get this dream outcome? How do I do it? I'm going to tell you. It is branding. Branding is the answer because it allows you to tank any externally influenced CAC related problem. You can near enough kill acquisition costs entirely, and you can massively increase your back-end conversion rate. This is because you have an established presence, that is digital real estate, because of the content that you're putting out to build that brand, and you're going to get word of mouth that is attached to that digital real estate, which means the word of mouth actually has weight. That's free exposure for you. That's basically marketing you didn't have to pay for. You're going to get inbounds, you're going to get distribution. Distribution, when I say that, I mean as soon as you put something out on the internet, you can get what you say out to tons and tons of different people. That is distribution in this context. And that's going to mean that your customer acquisition cost is going to be extremely low. Because think about it like this. If you can hop on, like, Twitter or something, and just say something, and get thousands of eyeballs on that immediately, and let's say, you know, a fairly sizable portion of that audience actually listens to what you say, buys into it, that's very, very low acquisition cost, really, because all you had to do was just write a tweet or something, write a community post. And also because people just buy from people. They don't like to buy from faceless clinical corporations, okay? This is a point that Ogilvy talked about in his book once, where he was saying most of the time you should actually use eponymous names, which means name your business after yourself, because it seems less cold and clinical. People feel like there's an actual person attached to the enterprise, and it makes them feel more comfortable to buy from them all. So the research showed. So let me give an example here. I buy into a health and productivity and business consulting service that I pay for on a monthly retainer, and it costs me about $100 a month, basically. Very, very good value for money. So then the owner of this offer actually reached out to me because he wanted to test an upsell, basically. He was offering this kind of premium upgrade that I could get if I wanted to, and like, I didn't really have the funds to pay for that upgrade there and then because my money was elsewhere, but I was perfectly fine to get asked that because I had so much trust, and I found the person that actually owns that offer really likable, that I would probably have, if my money was not elsewhere at the time, probably bought into it. And this is the thing, if you actually have that trust, you can upsell people who already like you, and even if the demand is not effective, it's notional, it doesn't really matter because people are still gonna like you, and you're not gonna lose credibility just because you try to upsell people who already liked you. And the people who can afford it are gonna probably buy it because of the trust that you've created there by having that brand and that identity. We can see this in action. Apple is a great example. Apple kept selling premium priced products during the 2008 financial crash, and Apple actually grew in size during the pandemic. I wonder if that word actually still gets you in trouble on YouTube. That would be really funny. I'll stay away from it just in case. I don't want to get shadow banned. And this is crazy if you think about it, because according to economic theory, that should not have happened. When things start to get tough economically, luxuries are the first goods to get removed or substituted for a cheaper option. And Apple is 100% luxury. You can buy their tech, but you can also buy a really, really cheap laptop instead of a MacBook, and you can buy a really cheap phone instead of an iPhone that technically do the same thing, but people were still wanting to buy into the Apple ecosystem. And a similar case is LVMH, which, if you don't know who these guys are, essentially they're a huge conglomerate company. They own basically most of the very famous designer brands that you've heard about, so now you know. LVMH, same deal. Kept selling premium priced designer products during the financial crash, and even grew during the pandemic and continue to grow even now with things like cost of living concerns. Still not phased. Because LVMH's portfolio of brands, they have such strong images, such good branding, that it basically just allows them to ignore basic economic logic. And what about another example? Starbucks coffee, okay? Starbucks has survived economic downturns many a time. Starbucks is expensive coffee, but people continue to buy into the Starbucks experience regardless of what was going on with the economy. It's because people bought into the brand and the experience. People enjoyed Starbucks as that kind of magical third place European coffee shop hangout, and people enjoyed going there and having that sort of atmosphere, that customer experience, that's what they wanted to buy into. That's what Starbucks was, and that's why they were able to keep selling expensive coffee, because it was like a kind of mini vacation to people that were bought and invested into the Starbucks brand. Side note, actually, Starbucks has actually been dying out in recent years. Like, they've been in a real, like, bad slump. I think they had to switch CEOs or something, and that's because they've been betraying the brand since the pandemic, okay? They've been focused on digital kind of delivery and trying to make everything really streamlined, instead of the third place magical, slightly clunky, but part of the charm environment. So they've actually been trying to go back and stay true to the Starbucks brand and recreate that now to stop them from continuing the slump that they've been in, which says a lot, to be honest. But those are big brands, okay? Why don't we hit this a little bit closer to home? Because personal branding is the exact same deal. That means the branding that you are capable of doing as an individual with your business, even if you don't have a massive Fortune 500 company. Speaking on the matter of personal branding, if you are an entrepreneur who wants to finally take advantage of the most powerful asset that you can ever have, a personal brand, then my company can help you do exactly that and tap into that gold mine that you've been sitting on top of for however long it's been. We are hired by business owners to basically just help and work very closely with them to design, build, and promote a profitable personal brand. So if that is something that interests you, and to be honest, it really should, then have I got news for you. For a limited time only, I am offering you a marketing and sales audit, a complete audit. Yes, the kind of thing that people pay thousands and thousands of dollars for completely free of charge. I need to stress just for a second that these audits, what is in these documents, changes lives. Kind of advice that we will be able to offer you after an extensive breakdown of your marketing, sales, branding area of your operation. That kind of advice that we can give you changes lives, I can assure you that. So if you're interested in going ahead and claiming one of these audits, which I am, remember, I'm only offering this for a limited time simply because if I offered it indefinitely, that would be super unsustainable for my own business. But you can go ahead and find out more just using the link in the description. Have a look down there and apply to get one. Now you may be wondering, why am I doing this? This does not make any logical or financial sense at all. Well, it's quite simply because I can. I do not see anybody else offering this kind of top quality service of something that's actually useful like this for free. So why don't I be the first? And okay, yeah, it's free. It's free. What's the catch? There's a catch because it's free. Actually, there is not. The only catch I can really think of is it'll take us up to 72 hours for us to get you that audit delivered and completed for you. Go ahead, check the link in the description, apply to get one for yourself. When it comes to personal branding, Alex Hormozi is a great example. Hormozi is the most trusted name in online business right now, I think. Whether you know him from reading his books, which are great brand assets in and of themselves, or maybe from his YouTube channel or his content on social media, you are not going to just forget Hormozi's name if something happens in the world tomorrow. You're just not. Same goes for somebody like Andrew Tate. This is amazing. I actually love this. Whoever made this is incredible, seriously. Whether you like Andrew Tate as a person or not, you cannot deny that, you know, his brand is or was, because I'm pretty sure he's taken quite a few hits over the years, what with the whole crypto thing and, you know, kind of taking his polarizing identity a little bit too far. He's survived deplatforming several times, and he's even survived huge criminal court cases. He's still going because of his brand. Anyone else would probably be like rotting in jail right now. Or if we look at somebody like Elon Musk. Musk is very outspoken and he does goofy things like weird dances at press conferences and talks about memes on social media because he knows the importance of brand. He could just be one of these low-profile billionaires, but he's not, because he understands that by being outspoken, by being himself, he's able to get more people on his side to further his own business agendas. And such is the power of branding. No matter what happens, if you have a strong brand, you can tank anything. Really just need to dial in on your own branding. Seriously, it's so powerful. I can't stress this enough. It is the tool to ensure that you never fade away and stay relevant for a long, long time and keep making money for a long, long time. Even if this happens, okay? As long as you don't get caught in the blast, that is. You want to know more about specifically how to build a great brand. I have several good videos on that topic on my channel. I don't really have time to go into it today. This video would become way too long if that was the case. And if you would prefer, again, something more personalized to your specific situation, then of course, do remember that there is the link in the description. You go ahead and apply to work with me and my team and get yourself a free audit. I mean, no-brainer offer, right? Go ahead. It's free. It's literally free. Go ahead and get it. But with that, I'll close out. Thank you again for getting to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.